that's what that is, right? Um, so here's another aspect of that that's really interesting to me is one of the dangers of marketing toxic black male culture. Again, this is culture that they don't market to their own children. The people that own the record labels don't look like us. They would never want their children to have this kind of influence. The dangers of marketing that toxic black male culture is that you pretty much create a scenario where you don't have to put people in the trap. You get kids who are not in the trap fantasizing about being in the trap, right? You got children fantasizing about getting shot. You get them fantasizing about going to prison. Really to the point where Tupac had to do a public service announcement to tell little black boys that prison is not a good place to be. Anybody remember that? Tupac had to do it too, and really Tupac, good or bad, whatever you think about his legacy, it was what it was. But the idea that you literally have to tell children, hey, prison is not a good place. Drug addiction has serious consequences that are intergenerational, that are far greater than you can ever imagine. It's really, really unfortunate. I know two or three single moms, more than one, that have sons in their early 20s who started to, because they wanted to fit in, they got involved with drugs and they never came back. To this day, they're still in rehab, in and out of rehab, stealing money from their own mother, in and out of jail, costing the family thousands of dollars in various ways, not to mention significant emotional damage. And what I also see, again, because I've practiced trying to keep give me 1 second here. Somebody's dropping my food off. 1 second, guys. One. I have breakfast for you, sir. Thank you very much. You have a good day. Have a wonderful day too. You too, my friend. Thank you. All right, now that my food's here, y'all know I'm gonna have to keep it short. But anyway, so the you know, so here's the thing, that because I try to keep my consciousness high, right? I don't just look at what's in front of me. I look at what that's going to become. I don't see people for what they are, just what they are. I see what you're becoming. Your habits tell you what you're becoming. Your choices tell me a lot about where you're going, right? So basically, when I see this 21-year-old kid in rehab, I'm imagining him as a 31-year-old, a 41-year-old. I'm imagining, like, if he does not change, what kind of father is he going to be? What kind of grandfather is he going to be? Because he's gonna get with the girls. That's he's gonna get some. There's a good chance he's gonna get somebody pregnant, and there's gonna be some child who's going to be impacted significantly by the choices that are made by that 21-year-old kid. My father, right here in Killeen, Texas, where I'm actually speaking, is kind of crazy. My father, when we were in Killeen, was a 22-year-old who was fighting a heroin addiction, and his decision to walk away from heroin makes a big difference in the kind of man that I am right now. 50 years later, exactly 50 years later, my parents had their 50th wedding anniversary a week and a half ago. So 50 years later, my father's decision to walk away from drugs is the reason I'm talking to you right now. And I want you to think about this. How many of you, give me a yes if something I have said or something we've discussed here has impacted your life in some way. Give me a yes if there's something that you've heard from me that made you think about something differently, that made you do something different, that made you teach your kids different. Give me a yes if that's been the case for you. Okay. And I want you to look at all the yeses that appear in the chat. Okay. And all the impact that we've had just in this space, just us getting up every morning, talking about our economics and everything else. If my father at 21 years old